Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic is partial differential equation based on design thinking method. So we have approached the design thinking method. Um, there are 5 steps involving in DT based video. So let us discuss with our mentees.
Good morning. Today we want to present a case study based on partial differential equation. I'm Raghavi, Kalpriya, Preeti, Priyadashini, and Janishya from first year CST department. Before jumping into equation, we try to focus on user problem based on user. Instead of directly thinking about the solution, we try to focus on observing and analyzing the solution. We need to understand what users difficulties they are facing, what they are experiencing, and based on such questions, we identify that those real world problems depends on factors like temperature, position, time, and such conditions. So in those cases, engineering method like partial differential equation comes to solution because it involves multiple variables and how those factors are connected.
Can you explain what is defined?
Hi everyone, I will explain about different of partial differential equation. Partial differential equation is a mathematical equation which contains two or more than a variable. One content is one quantity is equals upon the variable, element of the variable, explain the temperature of the rod, position and time, study the temperature is changing. Don't know by knowing the equation is temperature and T is time. R is a position and K is the constant. This equation is moved to the heat of the temperature of the rod. PD is the real-time applications using heat transfer, weather prediction, sound waves, fluid wave, and the engineering is partial differential equation helps to solve scientific and engineering problems change in the time and space. Thank you.
Now we are going to see about Ideate in a partial differential equation. In this stage, we need to know into the different ways to solve the DD. For example, if a given equation is given, we need to separate the equation into different parts, so it will be very easy. So it will be very easy to solve the equation. Likewise, there are many methods. So we need to analyze the methods that we have learned. For example, separation of variables and Laplace transform. So it will be very easy to find the solution. Compare the methods. Check what methods that have been learned and need to check the type of method that we have learned. So by using these steps, we can do the solution according to the problem.
Hi Anna, today I am going to present my prototype on partial differential equation. A partial differential equation is a mathematical equation that involves partial derivatives with respect to a function more than one variable. It is used to describe the real world phenomena like heat flow, fluid flow, wave motion. In this prototype, the heat flow. In my project, I have demonstrated the heat transfer of metal which is based on the heat equation. In this prototype, I used a metal rod, heat that applied heat at one end of the rod using heat source. And then I measured the temperature at different points along the rod over time. From this experiment, we can observe the heat flows from one end of the rod flowing the hot region to cold region. The temperature gradually spread along the rod, which clearly shows the behavior predicted by the partial differential equation. This concept are very useful in real life, that is applied in cooling system of electron devices, engine design and many electrical industries.
Now I'm going to talk about the test stage of our partial differential equation. In this stage, we have to evaluate our prototype actually solves the problem. After developing the PDF-based model, we test it using a different input and real-world functions. For example, if we applied it on heat distribution function, we have to apply the initial values to the partial differential equation. We observe how the temperature changes with respect to time and positions. We compare it on the solution accepted the physical behavior. If the solution behaves logically and satisfies the
satisfies the boundary conditions. Actually checks the ability and suitability of the equation. Finally, based on the result, it refines the model and the prototype.
To conclude, this case study shows how design thinking helps us approach real-world problems in a structured way. Starting from empathize stage, we focused on understanding the problems and also we thought about the user's difficulties. And moving through the stages, we were able to clearly understand and able to explore these solutions. And we also saw how engineering concepts like a partial differential equation is very useful by applying those factors and variables into solution, making our understanding more accurate and practical. So overall, this case study highlights combining design thinking with mathematical concept leads to better problem solving with more effective solutions.